Who knew I could use AI to give myself hair? So I'm a little late to the party with my review of the new Gaahleri Turbox Mini airbrush kit. However, I'm considering myself to be fashionably late. You see, so many reviews have been consumed with the technical specifications, independent pressure readings, drawing fine lines on white pieces of paper, and coating plastic spoons with primer that I no longer feel compelled to trouble myself with the mundane. I've been putting this little kit through its paces in real hobby applications. I've completed several projects with the Turbox Mini so far. This has covered a range of applications from painting individual 32mm miniatures, batch painting hordes of alien intruders, and I've even painted a full dragon towering nearly 200mm above the tabletop. I ran as many different types of paint through this system as I could to see how it performed under different conditions. Today, I'll share my full experience with this nifty little piece of equipment. I'll share what has me excited to use the new Turbox Mini, what has me feeling a little lukewarm about it, and one specific application where I would not recommend using this product. Welcome to Treehane Miniatures. This is normally the point in the video where I say that this is a review for a product that I purchased with my own money and I have no affiliation with the company behind it, etc, etc. I can't say that today. Gaahleri sent me this unit to try out and review. However, I don't accept payment for any videos I make on this channel, and my thoughts are my own. It can take a lifetime to earn people's trust and only a moment to lose that trust. I'm not willing to compromise my principles for a free gadget. That being said, I have purchased 3 Gaahleri airbrushes over the past year with my own money. The fact that I've had positive experiences with their products as a consumer is the only reason I agreed to accept this product for review. I already own a decent size air compressor and I have a dedicated painting space where I use my airbrush. I also already own 4 airbrushes, including the exact same model that comes with this kit. So while this kit isn't going to change my life, I'm excited to see if it's an option for a mobile airbrush unit or if it's a viable solution for individuals who don't have a dedicated hobby space and need to set up their equipment every time they want to airbrush something. I'm going to put this Gaahleri Turbox Mini through its paces on a series of projects. For most of the projects, I'll use only the equipment provided in the box. In addition to the 0.35mm airbrush that's included with this compressor, I'll paint one miniature using 3 different airbrush needle sizes. I'll use a 0.2mm airbrush, a 0.3mm airbrush, and a 0.5mm airbrush to see how this little compressor handles different needle sizes. I'll also run a variety of paints through the system, including primer, standard acrylic hobby paint, airbrush specific paint, and even a specialty hobby paint to see how they all perform. The first thing I'm presented with is a succinct instruction manual with only about 2 pages of instructions. Well, in my language anyway. As stated earlier, this kit comes with a GAD 39 airbrush, which is identical to the airbrush I purchased for myself a little over 1 year ago. I think that the GHAD is short for Gaahleri Advanced Series, but I'll continue to call it GAD since I like to mispronounce things. Come to think of it, I'm not even sure if Gaahleri is pronounced Gaahleri or Gaahleri, but whatever. Everything that's needed for airbrushing should be in this box. I do wish that the insert would hold the airbrush with the paint cup attached so I could continue to use this as a travel box without having to remove the paint cup. All of the components look to be securely packaged in a velvety lined vacuum formed insert. The air pump itself is tiny. I don't have giant hands and I can almost completely conceal this under my open hand. My first impression is that this little pump feels very solid. It looks like it has little rubber feet that are suction cups. I imagine this will help keep the unit from shimmying around while it's in use. There's a little switch on the back which will come into play later when I use a smaller airbrush needle with this unit. It has a sleek digital display screen and a simple 1-button control interface. It also comes with the required power adapter, which is a legit power source and not a simple USB plug. The air hose is located underneath the insert, which could be easily overlooked if you don't know where it's hidden. After I snuck a quick first impression of this unit into my Why I Hate the Airbrush video, people asked one very important question that I boneheadedly missed. How loud is it? So I downloaded a decibel meter to answer this burning question. At full pressure, with air flowing through the brush, the decibel reading peaks at about 60 decibels. Now I'm sitting back from the unit at a normal distance where I can still easily reach the controls. However, the decibel meter is just under 24 inches away, or 60 centimeters in grown-up measurements. That is pretty close to the unit. It's closer than my ears would normally be to the unit. Still, normal human conversation measures in the 60 to 70 decibel range. That means that this unit's maximum volume registers at the low end of normal conversation. It's not whisper quiet, but it definitely is not loud. For my first miniature painting demonstration, I'm focusing on the pump itself for those who already own an airbrush or two and are solely interested in acquiring a compact compressor. I'm using a variety of airbrush sizes for this. I begin with a 0.5 millimeter needle and some purple Pro Acryl primer. I even accidentally started spraying primer with the pump set to its lowest pressure setting. Surprisingly, the pressure was still adequate to provide a consistent paint flow from the cup, but I could feel that something was off. I tapped the pressure button 2 times to put the unit in high pressure mode, and I was off to the races. The little pump performed flawlessly with the Pro Acryl primer and the larger bore nozzle. My second test is with the Gaahleri Mobius 0.3mm airbrush. I'm using Pro Acryl's standard acrylic hobby paint for this. For this application of paint and for the primer application, I'm blasting as much paint at the miniature as possible. I have the airbrush trigger held wide open for as long as possible, and I'm emptying my airbrush paint cup way faster than normal. This isn't how I normally paint with an airbrush. I'm usually much more controlled and deliberate with the brush. But for this test, I'm trying to get the little pump to fail. I'm seeing if holding the airbrush wide open for an extended period of time will cause the pump to pulse or cause fluctuations in air pressure. Neither of these issues occurred. It seems that the pump self-regulates to a pressure that it can maintain long term. This also means that the pressure this unit is capable of maintaining depends on the size of the airbrush. The smaller the needle size, the more pressure this unit can reliably deliver, which segues perfectly into using my Mobius 0.2mm airbrush and some Vallejo airbrush paint. For this smaller needle, I need to put the pump into compatibility mode. This will reduce the number of start-stop cycles the pump performs while operating the smaller airbrush. With this combination, the unit maintains a steady 18 psi, and once again, I have no issues with the results. It's also good to point out that changing airbrushes with this unit is much easier than with my large compressor. All I have to do with this unit is turn it off and change brushes. My larger unit requires me to purge the 3-liter air tank in order to change the airbrush. For the next miniature, I'm going to use only the airbrush that came with the kit. I run some primer through the airbrush first. Yeah, both of these miniatures were already primed black, but I wanted to make sure I tested primer through this system as well as regular paints. Next, I used the same airbrush with standard acrylic Vallejo paint. Once again, no issues. Finally, I used the stock airbrush for some Vallejo airbrush paint. The included airbrush is just as accurate as any of the others I own. I didn't experience any hiccups from either the airbrush or the compressor in this kit. The results on both miniatures look just as good as what I've achieved with my large compressor and Mobius series airbrushes. I then try a couple of different paints with the included airbrush to add some OSL to one side of the minis. On one miniature, I used Citadel contrast paint for some blue OSL. I fully expect this to flow smoothly through the airbrush, and it does. For the other miniature, I applied some red acrylic ink for the base of an orange OSL glow. Once again, I am happy with the results. For the next project, I'm focusing on something much larger, which will allow me to experiment with the Turbox Mini in new ways. This miniature stands nearly 200 millimeters tall, and I begin by using the GAD 39 to apply a uniform base coat of acrylic paint over the blue primer. From a miniature painting standpoint, if there were an application that would cause the air pressure to fluctuate, this would be it. But as expected, this little unit maintained a consistent, usable pressure. Next, I use a couple of lighter colors to add some initial highlights where light would be affecting the different features of the model. This isn't an incredibly precise application of paint at this point, but I will get there. This is very similar to underpainting zenithal highlights, but I'm using the final colors that will be present on the miniature. After I place an acrylic whitewash in the cracks and crevices around this behemoth's body, I proceed to attempt much more accurate placement of paint with the airbrush. I'm using titanium white through the airbrush to soften the lines around where the wash has settled. This will also create a little glow effect. The chest area is pretty simple and doesn't require that much precision. The real test is to apply titanium white to the eyes and the tongue. The airbrush is very accurate in the sense that the spray goes where I expect it to. It goes where I'm pointing the airbrush. I'm painting the exact surface that I'm aiming at. However, this is a 0.35mm needle I'm using here, so the area I'm covering isn't as fine as it would be with a smaller needle. It's not as precise. This is an important distinction. The airbrush is accurate, but painting ultra-fine details isn't achievable with this brush. I think that's to be expected. I used the Turbox Mini and the GAD39 for the bulk of the painting on this dragon. It was a tremendous time saver. I continued using the airbrush to layer colors on the dragon's wings, chest, and face. As I'm testing out this equipment, I guess we're also getting a sneak peek at some of my upcoming content. I'll have full painting videos of these miniatures for those who are interested. The final trial I'm putting the Turbox Mini through is batch painting every alien from the original Nemesis game with Turbo Dork color shifting paints. And this is where things didn't go quite as smoothly. I don't know if this is a shortcoming of the Turbox Mini or one of the challenges of using Turbo Dork paint. I'll let you be the judge of that. Basically, I was blasting paint at the miniatures rapid fire for an extended period of time, as is typical with batch painting. While painting several miniatures, I could hear or maybe feel that the volume of paint being produced from the airbrush was slowly but surely diminishing. I painted each enemy type with a different color, and I diligently flushed the airbrush between each color change as I normally do. But the paint flow wasn't good through the airbrush. Turbo Dork recommends that you use a higher air pressure and preferably a larger airbrush needle for the paints to perform as expected. With its smaller needle size and lower air pressure, the Turbox Mini wasn't quite able to deliver what Turbo Dork paints require. Over the course of painting 12 miniatures, I had to fully disassemble and clean my airbrush. This isn't ideal. However, the consistency of Turbo Dork paints can best be described as gummy. Not sticky per se, but definitely gummy. It has a very elastic consistency when dry, as can be seen here on the side of my airbrush. I had previously airbrushed 6 miniatures with Turbo Dork paint using the 0.5mm version of the GAD39 and my larger air compressor. I didn't have any issues while painting, but I absolutely had to fully disassemble the airbrush for cleaning afterward. I'm going to call this a compatibility issue. If you're going to use the Turbox Mini, don't paint with Turbo Dork paint. And if you're going to paint with Turbo Dork, don't use the Turbox Mini. I'll have a full video about painting with Turbo Dork soon. And this segues nicely to how incredibly easy it is to disassemble this airbrush for cleaning. This airbrush fully disassembles by hand without the need for any tools. This is a departure from my old airbrush that required a little wrench, and I probably should have filmed this close up, but instead you get this. Once I lost that wrench, I tried using a pair of pliers and I ruined my airbrush tip. When I decided to upgrade to the Motiee series of brushes, I bought another small cleaning kit so that I would have the wrench available and I wouldn't damage my new airbrushes, but they don't require it. I think that the Gaahleri Turbox Mini is the perfect entry point for those looking to get into airbrushing. It's affordable, compact, capable, and quiet. The Turbox Mini with the included airbrush is perfect for zenithal highlighting, priming, OSL, color filters, and any other time you want to broadly apply paint, or when you want to apply paint to a broad. Even if you catch the airbrush painting bug and decide to upgrade to a higher end airbrush, the included GAD39 will remain your workhorse for these larger applications of paint. It's also great for those looking for a compact travel airbrush setup, or for those who don't have a dedicated painting space and need to set up their airbrush system for every painting session. However, this isn't going to replace a half horsepower air compressor with an air tank. It's not trying to compete with that. I don't think that veteran airbrushers with established systems are the target audience for the Turbox Mini. That being said, I did enjoy exploring the features of the Turbox Mini while completing these various projects. And I think the results speak for themselves. Ultimately, I'm very happy with how these miniatures turned out using the Turbox Mini. Yes, I did encounter some difficulties while using the Turbo Dork paints, but I pressed on and I was able to complete the project with just this airbrush kit. And let's be honest, who uses Turbo Dork paints anyway? Speaking of which, is it too late for me to finally finish my painting series for the original Nemesis? Would anybody watch that? Anyway, that's all I've got on the new Gaahleri Turbox Mini. I have a link in the description below that will automatically apply a 10% discount to any items you purchase from Gaahlerie's website, including sale items. I'd like to thank my amazing channel members for supporting this channel. You too can become a channel member for as little as $1.99 per month and receive perks such as early access to videos, extended versions of our painting tutorials, and even a tier that lets you decide which miniature I paint next. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to join our growing community of board game painters. Once I lost the little wrench, I proceeded to damage my airbrush by trying to